Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this July the 25th, 2025, nightly cryptocurrency XRP gold and silver bullion update. And you can see here, Satoshi era Bitcoin investor cashed out 80,000 Bitcoin for $9 billion via Galaxy Digital. That's got to be one of the greatest trades in trading history. As an early Bitcoin investor, has sold 80,000 Bitcoin through Galaxy Digital and what digital asset company described as one of the largest notorious transactions in crypto history. Throughout details regarding the data and exact price are not disclosed. Galaxy Digital disclosed Friday the company offered blog about 30 minutes. Galaxy did not reveal the client's identity. The announcement came on a day of heightened volatility for Bitcoin, with price briefly dipping below 115,000, according to Cointelegraph. Data from Lock On Chain indicated several large transactions from Galaxy Digital throughout the day, nearly 30,000 Bitcoin, with most of the funds sent directly to exchanges. These transactions were tied to Bitcoin investors who moved just over 80,000 Bitcoin from a dormant wallet earlier this month. Despite heightened volatility, sold coins have been fully absorbed, an analyst says. After a brief dip of nearly 4% on Friday, Bitcoin price quickly rebounded and was last seen above 117,000. The 80,000 Bitcoin were worth over $9 billion. And so he took paper gains and turned them into $9 billion of cold, hard cash, right? So that's very interesting there. MicroStrategies has also announced they're going to buy more Bitcoin, converting more notes. Robert Kiyosaki warns of the risk posed by BTC gold and silver ETFs. Very important. Robert Kiyosaki says if you're going to buy Bitcoin, just like gold and silver, buy the real thing. Don't buy an ETF, because Bitcoin could go to 1 million, but the ETF that you're in could be badly managed or be a fraudulent ETF, and your ETF goes bankrupt. You lose all your money. While Bitcoin, if you would have just bought the real Bitcoin, it goes to 1 million, right? So there's inherent more risk when you're in an ETF, because it's an actively managed fund and not the underlying asset itself, right? So it's very important and very smart by Robert Kiyosaki there, right? Strategies to raise $2.47 billion through sale of 28 million preferred shares, priced at $90 each. Very interesting there. And if we go over the charts today, we'll start with the XRP on the charts. One of my Jabroni Killer members asked about ALGO, SPX, and a couple other coins. And you can see the XRP is attempting to bounce now on this 304 the last couple of days after you came down off of that euphoric run, getting rejected by the 376 level, just below the all-time high of 385. And if you look at what we're watching this weekend, if we quickly go into the daily time frame, you can see the daily time frame. We got the 50-day moving average, the 100-day moving average. We got our horizontal orange left to right, and then we got the 200-day moving average, right? Get out of there. And then we have our tracks in the background, something that they did show we were going to 3 out of the 4 tracks, and I should have bought. I should have implemented and waited this more. You can see 3 of the 4 tracks there. See 2 of them right online had the pump right there, right? So we should have paid more attention to that. But then those tracks also had a big correction. 2 of the 3 of those had a major correction, and then we had the outliner to the north. But the mean of the tracks do come back down. So in the short term this weekend, what you're going to watch is obviously you're above the 3 major moving averages, so you're bullish, right? Above the 3 major moving averages, you're bullish. Check. Second area, the 304 is your first major support level. You can see we've wicked down to it, came down about 16%, bounced on it. Now we're attempting to rally, and if we rally and confirm this, you'll come right back very quickly up into here near the swing local top. The area that you need to hold is obviously where you're at, the 304, because if you break this area and can't hold it, you'll quickly trade down to the 50-day moving average at 268 and slowly rising. And then if you can't hold that, your major short-term initial support level is the 255, and that is your short to medium-term bullish or bearish signal. You get below that, you're extremely bearish again. You stay above that, you're still bullish. but your short-term bullish here to continue this pattern is 304. If you break that to stay medium-term bullish, you need to stay above the 255, right? And then you can come back up and start to push up bullish. But if you can hold the 304 this weekend, you can make another run at the 376 and then maybe try to break that. So the critical level this weekend is to hold this 304 and to stay above the 255 and the 50-day moving average on any kind of correction or any kind of fall through a critical short-term support level in the XRP price over this coming up weekend. And then we gotta figure out, is this pattern that when we were in this head and shoulders and almost got to our technical target out of the pattern itself, where it got down to $1.61, about 23 cents above. But you can see from where we made the call, the price came down 53%. And then now, even if we do at some point here in the future come back down to the $1.29, it still is invalidated because we had this happen first, right? We had a new regional top, a new regional high put in first. But now what we're trying to see is, are we going to consolidate and continue up into the $4, $5, and $6 range? Or do we got something sneaky here where we had a first top, then a run up, and then in the macro time frame in the XRP, could this be some kind of extreme year-long mountain double top? Something that we were talking about, but we thought this would form. Remember when we had this, we showed our pattern for the summer like this, and then a rebound late in the summer going into it started 2026, right? We had it in blue there back a while ago. And maybe that pattern's playing out. We just didn't come to the $1.29 first. We had to come to the $1.61, and that was our swing low. So this is what we're watching. Are we forming some kind of a pattern like this? Then the 209 neckline support becomes, instead of a neckline support, it becomes the 209 becomes the mountain double top neckline support, right? So it changed from a head and shoulders neckline support to a mountain double top over a 8-9 month pattern, right? So that's something that's very interesting, because if that did happen, that would get you all the way down to a new area down here at 92 cents, something that we were talking about several months ago on this double topping pattern that we thought could happen after you fulfill this technical target, where we would have came down here first, then rebounded in a ferocious 2x rally. You can watch those videos from March and April and May, then potentially coming down, right? So this is very interesting what we're watching. Now, if we hold this and we don't do that, could we continue up to the 550? Yes. But this is what we're watching out for right now. These are critical things that we're watching with the XRP, and we're going to continue to follow it. The ALGO, you can see we got rejected just below that 36 cents, and we're coming back to what we talked about. If you got rejected and couldn't get above the 36 cents, your initial short-term support that you need to hold above to stay short-term bullish is this 24 cents. This bottom part of this green, red support and resistance box, right? You need to hold that, because if you fail to hold that and you slip these moving averages, which we got to update, where you have, we've had a freshly minted bullish, super bullish cross, or a golden bullish cross, almost a golden bullish cross. We got the 50 all the way on top now. You see that? So what you want to see here, and what goes on in the algo here in the short term, and specifically this weekend is what we're talking about in these coins, is this weekend, if you hold this 24.5 cents or the bottom part of this red trading zone that's bullish, you're still above the three major moving averages, and you can make another run up to 36 cents. But if you get below this 24.5 cents, you'll get forced down all the way to the major medium term bullish or bearish, this 20 cent horizontal, which you've held support on it multiple times. You can see a double bottom there. Then you can see you use it as resistance and support back there, right? So this weekend, if you hold the 24 cents, you can try to get back to 36 cents. If you can't hold the 24 cents, you would come down to the moving averages quickly, and then likely down to the 19 cents. If we're going to go look at XLM, it's the same thing. We got rejected just below the 55 cent swing high from back in December. We're sitting just below the 43 cents, which is a major short-term support structure and a short-term support area. You can see the moving averages are trending up very, very quickly, obviously, because the price has appreciated very, very quickly over a short period of time. Come on, what is this doing? I hate how this does this. So you're just not going to let me touch it. Here, you want me to delete that so I can move this? Fuck. I guess I just can't move this. What is going on? Move. I know that just brought my video to a screeching halt and it's very unprofessional, but this trading view right there is very unprofessional. Just grab the fucking thing. Excuse my French. I'm very frustrated with that. It just annoys me to no end that it just can't grab stuff. But you can see the moving averages have trended up. If we get back in, and now that we lost our beautiful green trading box that we needed, but it's dead, it's gone. We'll put it on some other time. I don't have time for it right now. But you can see we're just below the 43 cents. That's a major short-term support area. And what you want to see here in the XRP is you want to see it hold this major 43 cents, because if you don't, you will trade back very, very quickly into these underneath moving averages and the top part of what used to be that green trading box, which is 36 cents. Because if you're below that, you become short-term and medium-term extremely bearish, right? And you want to hold these moving averages, but the first short-term you want to stay above this weekend is the 43 cents, because then you can make a run up here at 55. But if you can't hold this 43 cents, you will drop to this 36 cents very, very quickly, and then probably through these moving averages. So that's what we're watching out for in the XLM this weekend. We're watching for this 43 cents as a major area, as a short and medium term bullish or bearish area. 36 cents, or what was that green support and resistance box, which we can put back on now. It started at 36 cents and it went down to 31 cents, I believe. Yeah, because it went all the way back through here. See that? It was a major support and resistance area. I see all the resistance, the support, right? So that's what we're looking at in the XLM. And if we look at the Ethereum on our way out of here, and then we'll get you an altcoin video, you can see it bounced off the 34.78, which is bullish. It's trying to regain and make a run at 39.59, or the top part of this local rising channel that we've been in ever since about April right here. And then if you look at what we have, some people could say that this is a fourth hit in a megaphone pattern where you have a broadening wedge. See that? And a megaphone, and then you got your flag. And if that was the case, your technical target out of that would be all the way up here at about $15,000. We have it way up here. I'll show you how you do this. And that is a macro time pattern, and those are very bullish, right? And you can see you go from the start of this megaphone pattern to the point of a breakout, and that gets you all the way up to $15,000, which is fine. Wouldn't put anything past it. But what you want to see right now, we'll continue to follow that megaphone pattern. But right now, you got the 39.59, 39 cents is major upper resistance. 34.72 and 42 cents is your major support. If you fell below that for any reason this weekend, 3,046 would be a major support area, as well as the underneath part of this rising channel. Like the channel, subscribe. Sorry about the late video. I tried to make one on my lunch, but I kept getting interrupted with phone calls and debacled and foiled my attempt to make my normal noon video. We're going to make another altcoin video here in a little while to get that out to you. Peace and love. Direct Eyebrow J.